Steven Spielberg and Kevin Costner, The Role of Luck and Misfortune from the Moment of the First Cry by Ciro Discepolo. An age-old question that seems to move the best minds of the intelligentsia of every age and every country is one that could follow a direct line to the question, does destiny exist or do we make it? And here we could fill 1,000 more books alongside the 1,000 and more already written by so many. As for me, I think all my readers know this, I am more practical. I examine the biographies of people, of famous figures, and I try to interpret this reality alongside others. I'm convinced, as I have written on other occasions, that at the moment of our birth, the script of our entire life is already written. But I am also equally convinced that to a large extent we can change that script. How? With active astrology, of course. And I won't dwell on things I've written and rewritten numerous times. Anyone who thinks differently is free to do so and follow their own beliefs. Even if they practice astrology, there would be enormous intrinsic contradictions in this, but we would be going off track, and I'll refrain from pursuing this discussion. Let's look at the situation of two very famous Hollywood actors, directors, and producers who could embody quite broadly the concepts just outlined. The first is Kevin Costner, a magnificent actor, a charming man who drives most women crazy if only he shows that slightly sad and thoughtful look of his. An intelligent man, culturally engaged, a defender of American history, a champion of many environmental crusades, a champion of minorities, and we could go on and on. Looking at his filmography, as an actor, as a director, as a producer, one is impressed. His film resume has already automatically placed him in the pantheon of the celluloid world. Yet, beyond the near absence of Oscars, his career has seen some appalling flops, productions that plunged him into such abyss of financial losses that the Hollywood majors would have had to deny him even further access to the production of mini television commercials. Consider, for example, the epochal fiasco of Waterworld, one of the greatest financial disasters in the history of cinema. But it wasn't the only one. Other films of his, like The Marvelous Dances with Wolves, truly a work worth seeing 100 times over, failed to achieve commercial success commensurate with the financial investment lavished on such ambitious projects. The reason for all this, in my opinion, isn't so arcane or difficult to trace and is entirely written in his birth chart. That peculiar and extremely close opposition between Jupiter and Uranus in the 10th house and the Sun in the 5th house. It is, I think, an alternating current electric energy. Sometimes the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction prevails in the 10th house, and we have highly successful works, though not of the highest artistic value, like The Bodyguard, 1992, and other times all-out disasters like Rapa Nui, 1994, where the aforementioned harsh opposition certainly prevailed, and where the economic disaster was accompanied by a social one. The corruption, involuntary but corruption nonetheless, that its filmmaking team left as a legacy to populations still living in an almost primitive state. Many of the indigenous people of Easter Island became alcoholics after the film was made. Let's look instead at another Hollywood god, a man for whom the word failure doesn't even seem to exist, Steven Spielberg. His filmography is crazy, immense and dripping with success after success, a long list of films highly acclaimed by audiences, critics, and the box office. If we looked at his birth chart, even if we were as blind as Margarita Hack & Co., we would immediately see a close, very close conjunction of Venus and Jupiter in the fifth house and precisely trine the midheaven. Do any further explanations need to be explained? And please don't tell me it's easy to reach the heights of success by directing feature films like Jurassic Park, or Indiana Jones, or Jaws. No, his filmography includes films of great, very great social and political commitment. In the world ranking of the 250th best films of all time, voted by internet cinephiles, his Schindler's List is always at the top. Personally, I rewatch it at least once a year and find it almost perfect. I watch it over and over again, but I can't find any mistakes. Yet, it was a film with a highly ambitious project, a production that took years to make, with thousands of extras employed, a fairly crazy financial project from the start, on a par with the colossal flops planned and executed by Kevin Costner. But stars are thicker than water, and at the same time I'd like to point out that Costner, despite starting out significantly handicapped compared to his great colleague, precisely because of his star-making background, could have avoided most of his misfortunes if he had followed the old saying, "The wise man governs his own star." Ciro Discepolo, many years ago.